Perhaps the single biggest difference between authentic Indian cuisine and the Indian food that you're likely to be served in a restaurant is that there is no one-size-fits-all curry sauce in authentic Indian cookery. Restaurants need to minimize the amount of labor and ingredients in order to make a profit, so if you order lamb korma, it's almost certainly lamb that was cooked in the exact same sauce as the chicken korma and several other menu items. When it's properly made, the spice mixture is specific to the other principal ingredients in the dish. I'm showing you the spices laid out here. We have green and brown cardamom pods, which are not interchangeable in case you're not familiar with cardamom. We also have ground nutmeg, whole cloves, whole black peppercorns, about 3 centimeter piece of cinnamon stick, the cayenne pepper, a lot of cumin seeds, and a few black cumin seeds.
I've loaded all the spices into the grinder, and now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of coarse salt. This is for the abrasive properties. That's why I'm using coarse salt to help it grind. Now I'm going to use something unusual, smoked almonds for this. You can use whatever brand you want. Use a good one. This is 22 grams, about 3/4 of an ounce.
Another difference between home cooking and restaurant cooking is that in a restaurant we buy large pieces of meat and butcher them ourselves. Not only to save money, but also because the meat is fresher, having been handled less, and also because you get bones that can be used. Now, you can make this with packaged lamb stew meat, but as you'll see, this gives you an opportunity to bring more flavor to the dish.
And within a couple of minutes here, you can separate the lamb into 3 basic components. You've got cubed parts of meat that have a little bit of fat on them, but you don't go crazy getting all the fat off, but get most of the fat off. You get the fat cap and other trimmings that I already threw. I have no use for this in this recipe. This is just going to be one slimy, oily mess if you put this in. And then you've got the bone that has a little bit of meat clinging to it, but not very much. We're going to use this too. So this goes in the trash. This is going to get coated with spices, and this is going to get roasted along with the meat in just a moment here. And I transferred the meat to a bowl. Now I've got all these lovely spices with the ground almonds in there. You should stop, take a moment, and taste these spices. You can taste the dish right here. Even though this hasn't been cooked yet, haven't really done anything with it, it's still the essence of the dish is right here. You can see how this is going to be really delicious just from the spices. Okay, I'm going to massage this around with the meat. What I did is I sliced the onion and I just laid it out in a ceramic dish like this, and now I'm going to add the meat that was rubbed with the spices onto the top of this, and I'll make a little layer here like this, and into the corner we'll put this big piece of bone. Separate it out like this. Okay, so that's pretty good. This can be roasted in the oven now. While this is going on somewhere, you've got your yogurt in a sieve and you're draining the whey from it. Just leave this sit. It's going to take at least an hour. While this is roasting, you get the other ingredients together. With the cilantro stems soaking in some water to get rid of any loose dirt on them. The ginger that's grated, the garlic, the green chili. When this finally comes out of the oven, you separate the meat, and we're going to put these onions and the juices in the stick blender bowl here in a second. Now, what I did is I took all of the onions and the juices that came off of this lamb, and I loaded them into the stick blender cup. And to this, I'm adding the garlic, the green chili, ginger, grated ginger, the cilantro stems, and the yogurt that drained all the whey off of. Here's this braising dish, and there's something unusual here. Here's this bone that we roasted. It doesn't really have any meat on it. We're going to pick this out later. And I'm going to take the pieces of meat and surround it, but I'm going to leave that bone in there. We're not going to eat it, but it's there for the flavor. Put all the other cubes of meat around. Now we have the dish with the lamb cubes, the lamb bone in the middle. Blended mixture in here. Put the cover on it and begin the braise. After about an hour of the braise, going to take it out, stir it around just a little bit, make sure everything's evenly coated. Good stir, redistribute everything. Put the lid back on and back into the oven it goes for more braising time. And through the magic of video editing, the rest of the braise time is finished now. Move this. You got the big bone piece in the middle here. I'm just going to get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. The rest of this is going to get mixed around a little bit and transferred. Scrape this out and transfer it into a pan you can put on the stove. Okay. Get it transferred. Add coconut milk to it, stir it around, and now we're going to complete the cooking on a low heat on a simmer right here on the stove. Also just tasted it and adjusted the salt a little bit, added about half a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to keep a lid on this, partly covered, on a very low heat, and let this simmer more until it's very, very tender.
If you like my videos, look for my cookbook, now available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other internet bookseller sites. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.